God, I'm so nervous.
No, you're not. You've done this enough. We've been through this before.
We have.
I'm going through changes. You are going through changes. Welcome, Langhorne Slim. Sean, so good to see you. Good to hear you. You sound good. Glad you're back here in Bentonville at the Momentary. I'm going through changes now. One of those changes is obviously you got a new baby.
I do.
And that changes things in every way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that they were going to let me do it, but holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think about how terrifying it might be if you were my dad.
That's sweet of you, Nick. But the beautiful thing is he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, that's true.
So he just has this,
Well,
and he's
listen.
like,
Yeah.
he digs it.
No, it's
We'll
it's
check back in like 10 years, but
It's a learning. It's a beautiful learning and loving opportunity for both of you, which is so cool. It's really cool.
it's cool. And I will say, I wonder if other people can relate to this, where like, you know, you hear so many things of what it's going to be like, right? People just want to tell you what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And what I did was somehow let that seep into my mind. And so I sort of had, oh, it's going to blast your heart wide open. I was like, that's great. And it's going to make you more present, more patient. I was like, that would be great. It's going to make you pull your head out of your own tuchus. And I was like, that would be great. And then the baby came, and I didn't feel all of those things right away.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think anybody did tell me that when the baby comes, which I guess I should have been able to figure out on my own, the baby doesn't even really need us at all. The baby just is looking for the boob.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we're like 5.5 months in, and my heart has been exploded wide open.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more present, and I feel like a higher calling, if you will. And that's been a really
Yeah.
I feel more focused with my music because there's maybe even less time, but when it's more intentional. I don't know. It's a groovy thing.
You've been writing about that opportunity to tap into the deepest part of your soul, essentially. You know, to serve that, to feed that. And so, sure enough, you manifested this opportunity. It's cool. I remember thinking before our first kid, like, all the talk was about the delivery and the birth and delivery and how you do that and the breathing and the whole thing. And then everybody splits and you get this tiny little baby. And it's like, wow,
It's wild.
I didn't get the owner's manual for this.
Not only that, when we got out of the hospital room, I wanted to get everybody's numbers and see if they had like Venmo so I could tip them or something. And I was just like, oh, these people are just the most amazing. And there's a lot of them in there, and the lighting is terrible. But it's like, it's such a trip. And then you're just like, God, thank you, angel people. And they're like, all right, cool, man. We enjoyed your playlist.
Yeah, yeah. I was a lot dumber than you.
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, well, here's a good example.
I also waited until I was 74 to have a child.
Yeah,
so
right.
there's that.
A little added wisdom. Yeah, I was 22, I think. But
Wow.
I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to do the soft lights and pull the shades and do the womb to the room thing that's going to be so mellow for the kid. It's going to be cool. We did a home birth.
Yeah, cool.
And then after 3 days, I was like, this was not going well. And I took our daughter to the hospital, and they said, Mr. Forster, how long has your baby been yellow? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice. I had the lights down. I
Yeah.
had the shades drawn. I'm an idiot, you know. So
We had a little
They
jaundice
survived.
too, but
Yeah.
they just said, take that little boy outside.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And my partner has, I went from being a single weird man for quite a long time, blasted off into domesticity in that I've got a 7-year-old stepdaughter who's amazing, the 5-month-old baby,
Yeah.
4 dogs, 2 cats,
Wow.
1 lady
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy
Yeah.
smokes.
What are you doing here? You should be home. You got a lot of stuff to take care of.
I'll tell you what I'm doing here. It's a lot of encouragement and support to go and do what I got to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, again, this journey, the other thing that's going through changes, as you mentioned, being candid about your struggle, being candid about what happened, and also the universe was giving you some pretty obvious lessons. Like, let's see, there's a random tornado that goes through your neighborhood and
Yeah.
starts destroying things willy-nilly without rhyme or reason. That's interesting and
Yeah.
makes me feel slightly precarious. Oh yeah, and then there's this pandemic that shuts everything down. That's kind of, random. And then there's your own internal struggle. These are not small things.
Yeah, it was a wild time in that, as I have said before, I learned that I didn't need a global pandemic, a tornado, social, political unrest to feel like I'm losing my mind. This was something that I've become an expert on all on my own without any other help. And in the midst of all of that, I was living out in California. I wasn't doing well. I was heavily medicating myself to not deal with some stuff that a lot of humans probably just don't want to deal with, which is whatever those things are that we don't want to deal with. And it became very obvious, very apparent that I needed to do something about that. So I came back to Nashville. I checked myself into a place that they help people figure these things out a little bit, which I didn't want to do. But then finally I made some calls and I said, I need some help. And people said, thank goodness, we know. You have not been fooling us very well. And off I went, and that was, if we're lucky, for every end, there's a beautiful new beginning. And that was I hope, the end of that life into a life that has blasted me off into having a child of my own, experiencing these sorts of opportunities in my life a lot there. I feel a lot more awake for them and a lot more moved by music, by my relationships. And for a long time, I was doing more than just partying. Partying was fine, but I wanted to be moved. I wanted to taste the divine, the connection to my creativity, that sweet, soft, warm place that you have with certain people. I just wanted to heighten all of those. And so when you're just heightening it all of the time, eventually
Yeah.
that shit stops working.
Yeah, it dried up. You couldn't write a song.
Yeah, I couldn't write a song.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish a song. My relationships were not looking so hot. And above all, I remember feeling like I had lost my ability to smile. And I was just continuing to do the same things, hoping I would get some different results.
Yet the world works in mysterious ways, and now you've got a 5-month-old son who's going to every day remind you that the opportunity is right now. Right now.
Absolutely.
That's it. All right. Well, listen, speaking of right now, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're candid. We're glad you're sharing all this stuff. I do have one question before we go back to music. I noticed when I was sort of poking around your bio that you went to college in New York State, where I come from, and you went to music school. You went to the conservatory. So,
I did and I did not.
But what was your idea? What were you thinking when you went to conservatory? Like, what was your, you must have had an end game of some kind. Like, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to be a conductor, or what were you going to do?
Well, if we're remaining in radical honesty,
we're good for that, right? Yeah.
The part of the music conservatory that I was in wasn't for conductors, though I would love, that would be great.
Given your personality, that would have worked, actually.
I'd love to do some of this. I feel like I got the right clothes on tonight for it. No, what it was I struggled all throughout school, and then I got asked to leave the public school. I'll try to make this quick. I got asked to leave the public school where I'm from. That was the best thing up until that point in my life that had happened. It was beautiful to leave that place. Went to this little kind of alternative hippie school in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which saved my butt in a lot of ways. There was a lot of art, music, gay people, bikers, probably even gay artist bikers. But a lot of the things that I didn't get in the one place, I got in this other place. And I was like, thank goodness there's other freaks in this world. And they were a lot more patient with me there. So I was able to do well enough there to get into some schools. When I said to my mother, I do not want to go to school, she said, well, we can send you to school. I was very fortunate for that. Or you can get your job at the Sunoco gas station. And I didn't want to continue working at the Sunoco gas station. So long story not short enough, I'm sure, But off I went undecided to State University of New York. I took one songwriting class, and there was a man named Joe Ferry there, and I played a song of mine, and he said, we'd like for you to come into music. He loved roots music, old reggae, blues, folk stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of kids doing like hard rock, hip hop stuff, and he took a liking to me.
Yeah.
Brought me into that program where I did not have any idea what I was doing, and he worked for, and then I promise the story's over, worked for a label called Shawnee, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Yazoo Shawnee, and I would do sort of like play blues tribute to the Grateful Dead, and I would do something like that, or a show in the area, and so I would get past credits for doing these other sorts of things.
And your mom was thinking, wow, he's going to school and he's getting a decent grade. But little did she know you're just screwing off and writing songs.
You know, my mom, I gave her a lot of things to worry about. As soon as the music thing really took, she was happy that I was smiling and playing music and seemed like I might have something to do with my life. So,
well, listen.
Thank you, Mom.
Wow, the radical honesty is getting moving here. So, But let's also just reiterate that the world works in mysterious ways. There's all kinds of things to worry about, and no matter what happens, through it all, having that opportunity to bring it all to the present, think about what you're lucky to have in your life, your friends, your family, your ability to play and sing, and that's what led you here. So things are working.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're back. Welcome back. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, Langhorne Slim.